wanted to just touch base with you guys and kind of update you guys on my eczema situation. I posted my last video about my coconut oil challenge and kind of trying to manage my eczema from a more natural way from the inside out by kind of switching up my diet and incorporating these natural essential oils to try to basically heal myself from the inside out. It was very progressive. I did notice slight changes with the coconut oil and it did help a little bit, but this video really, of course, like I said, I'm going to update you guys on the status of my eczema and my kind of health situation, but this video also is to kind of touch base and put it out there like when you should stop with the home remedies and seek medical attention. For those of you who don't know exactly what eczema is, it's a skin condition that's pretty common. It's also known as atopic dermatitis. A lot of people aren't really familiar with it though. It's really common because most cases are very, very mild to moderate. But eczema can definitely grow into a debilitating state, however, and if you're like me, you can get a chronic to severe case. Whenever the seasons change, my skin, it gets really sensitive, and it can become very, very easily irritated, and the eczema can flare up. Typically when it gets to those colder, drier months of the year, but this year, like I said, I had already had a flare-up when summer started to fade away and we're starting to get into this fall transition, which is super, super early in the year for me. Very quickly, my eczema went from just my regular flare-up to very bad to severe. And I had to seek medical attention. I had to break away from the home remedies and just the regular skin routine. And anybody who knows me, I'm a nut when it comes to moisturizing and cleanliness. Like I shower and I waste no time. I slather on all my lotions and stuff, and I'm particular and careful about the moisturizers that I choose and the cleansers I choose too. But my eczema got to the point where it was definitely severe. It was debilitating. I had to use a couple of sick days at work. I had to completely cut out soaps from my showers and switch to cleansing oils. Had to stop using my loofah because it was starting to irritate. The friction and the material from the loofah was irritating my skin. I couldn't use regular lotions either. Definitely was not using anything scented. I had to switch to complete ointment use, and even that at times was not enough to keep my skin moisturized. It would get so bad to the point where sometimes I would have to moisturize literally every 2 hours. I probably went through like 3 jars of this Aquaphor, which if anybody knows Aquaphor, this is a super, super rich ointment. It's really, really great for skin protecting and moisturizing. But the fact that I had to go through 3 jars of this, not only is that extreme because this is heavy stuff. It's for cracked and irritated skin, so it's really supposed to be concentrated on localized areas. Sometimes if you get a tattoo artist will recommend this to kind of heal your skin. But on top of that, this is expensive. It's $25 a jar, and I had to go through 3 of these, and these are big jars. But that's just kind of trying to give you guys like the gist of like how frequent I had to moisturize and how ridiculous my case was getting. I could not sleep through the night at all. I was tossing and turning all night just because my skin was so dry and cracked. It was uncomfortable in any position, and I was so itchy that I would wake myself up from scratching, and it got to the point where I was taking Benadryl so often that Benadryl doesn't even make me drowsy anymore. I'm kind of skeptical as to whether or not it's even helping me anti-itch anymore. I'm probably getting immune to it because that's how often I was taking it, which is bad. I don't recommend that for anybody. When to seek medical attention? When your eczema gets like mine did. The main reason I went to the doctor is because it got to the point where I thought that I had an infection. My skin was definitely dry, cracked, and peeling everywhere. Everywhere from the neck down was affected. I could barely move. I could barely sleep. And then I started getting really cold and shivering, and I was, of course, like in denial, so I'm thinking, oh, I'm just cold, like it's getting colder outside. But one night I wake up and little parts behind my legs and in between my elbows were oozing this white, clear, not white, it was oozing like a clear fluid. And I thought that, okay, I'd scratched and irritated, obviously it's going to cause it to ooze. So I ignored it, and then the next day I was oozing this clear fluid from the majority of my body. I literally woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning drenched and freaking out because I had not been scratching, but my body was oozing this clear fluid, and it was gross, and I'm probably grossing you guys out, but can you imagine waking up and just knowing like what the hell is happening to my body? So I go to the doctor, and I'm crying in the clinic like a child, but it's really emotional for me. And the doctor understands. She was super, super great, and let me know, like, no, you don't have an infection. The reason why your body is oozing is because, like with anything else in your body, if there's something that could possibly damage you, your body's going to try to push it out. Like when you get sick and you feel like vomiting, or you get cut and you start to bleed. So I started to ooze and was shivering because it turns out, from the neck down, all of the skin that was affected, actually the thin first layer of my skin, the one that protects all of us as human beings from our environmental surroundings, was actually almost completely depleted and exposed. What the doctor did was give me a shot of steroids into my hip, which was really painful, but immediately within 30 minutes to an hour, 90% of the oozing had stopped, and the spots were starting to close up. The very next day, no more oozing at all. It made my skin completely dry. She also prescribed me prednisone, which is an oral steroid, and you have to actually get tapered off of it. So it started off with like 6 small pills a day with a meal for like 2 days, and then tapers down to 5, and now I'm like at 4. So you taper off of these steroids, and definitely take it as prescribed and as the doctor says. Don't just stop or double up or not take what they prescribe to you. I've got like 6 tubes of these. By my second tube, 90% of the flare-ups were gone. And right now, honestly, I really don't have any areas that are flared up, but I still put them a little bit like behind my knees and on my ankles because there's still a little bit of affected areas. No more oozing. My skin had gotten so dry. By the second day, this is going to be really gross, but I was peeling, almost like if you were to get sunburn and start to peel. It was kind of like that, but like everywhere. So everywhere that was oozing was now dried up and peeling, and I was super, super itchy, but it was a different itch. It wasn't itch because of the eczema, it was itch because the skin was peeling and flaking off. So like I said, this is really gross, but on the second night after this treatment started, I actually woke up and like flakes of my skin were like nasty. I know this is so, so gross, but flakes on my skin were like in my sheets. I had to wake up and like dust my body off, dust off my sheets, vacuum, change my bedspread. But the cool thing is, like, once I did that and hopped into the shower, I was literally washing away. It was like washing away the damaged layer of eczema-ridden skin, and there was just new baby rose petal soft skin underneath. So in 2 days, I had like almost completely healed, and now I'm on my 3rd tube of this. And I'm now off of the Aquaphor. I only really use I don't even use this anymore. This has been sitting on my dresser. But I've switched from the ointment Aquaphor to just a cream with Cetaphil. My skin is still healing, but all of like this, my arms would not have been exposed not even a week ago. Like probably 5-6 days ago, my arms would not be, I would be completely covered in like a hoodie and like a scarf because I was just so embarrassed by my skin. But I'm getting comfortable letting my skin out. It's smooth. There's no cracking, ashiness, peeling, flaking, irritation. So my eczema gets chronic, and I decide to go seek this medical attention, and I see this physician, and she works really well with me. It's like embarrassing. It's to the point, like I said, I was using sick days at work. I couldn't function. I couldn't get anything done. I was just completely exhausted because of the lack of sleep and the irritation and just the embarrassment. I mean, it's anything that's an issue with your skin, obviously, it's embarrassing. I mean, it's the first thing that people see. It's like right there. It's really hard to cover it up. And luckily, like the fact that I get eczema in the winter, it's a little easier to cover up, but it had gotten so bad that I couldn't even wear like sweatpants or certain materials because it would just it wouldn't allow my skin to breathe. And of course, with any healing process with your skin has to be able to breathe. And finding clothes to wear to work that was work appropriate. I work at a clothing store, Abercrombie and Fitch specifically. So finding clothing that was work appropriate as well as stylish and comfortable and catered to my skin needs was really, really hard. I was battling it on my own because I've been battling it on my own my entire life for the longest time, but it got to the point where it was so chronic, like I said, I couldn't get anything done. I was completely debilitated. I coincidentally one night ended up just kind of hanging out with my mom. She kind of saw, like, I could not fall asleep. I was just so irritated, and she kind of forced me to open up about my eczema and show her the condition that I was in. I was definitely hiding it from everybody, including my mom, who I live with, and a little bit in denial about how bad it had gotten. I'm really, really, really thankful and appreciative of my mother. She definitely kind of shook me out of it and was like, you don't need to battle this on your own. Like, you can't battle this on your own. You gotta get that support system, especially for that emotional support when you're just feeling so down in the dumps and so embarrassed by your skin condition. You need people who are going to let you know, like, hey, I still love you for you. You're still beautiful. And at the end of the day, you have to remember, too, that, hey, after all of this, you're going to heal and you're going to get right back. You're going to bounce back to the beautiful person you are. You're great. It's a huge system. It's the medicine. It's the treatment. It's the skincare routine. But it's also that moral, mental, and loving support of your friends and family. And, of course, from yourself. So it's been a journey. I hope that if anybody who has eczema, that you're doing great managing it. If you need more help, seek that help. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Other than that, give this video a like for me, guys, and I will see you on my next post. Bye!